everything that is so current and so present right now. And although I did want to take her out of school, but I'm not going to. I want you to meet the bravest person I know, the one who inspires me, who has the most confidence, the one that can, as my family say when I get upset, the dragon, face the dragon. Her name is Anaya Jamil Allen, who 2 years ago was kidnapped by her own father, and not just the typical parents are fighting. He kidnapped her, dropped her off at a farm, and left for a month. She had no contact with any of her family members. There's still things that she won't talk about of what happened to her. And I sort of had to use my old life to find my kid. So when I speak so much about her, she truly is my hero. She's a lot stronger than I will ever be. And she does it with such grace and humility and humor. She's phenomenal. So I say all these things from where I've been and my beliefs, what I've learned in First Step. That I can be appreciated and I don't have to hold back. I can actually try my best and it's not something that's going to come back on me. I've survived an abusive relationship with a man that I've known since I was 15. I've won 5 court cases, some criminal, just because I wanted to leave the situation. I've broken my knee and learned how to walk because he put his hands on me. I have the same story. I don't see working for the city with the good benefits as my greatest accomplishment. I find it as one of the most positive experiences in my life because my first attempt at college, I did another life. I made different choices. Where I'm going, well, that's where this one comes in. I love plants, and I love animals, and I love families. It is called a horticultural therapist, and although I can come up with a different name, it is called a horticultural therapist. And basically, I'll be a family counselor in the garden with you. And I'm not like the nicest, most cuddliest person, but I do know what the truth is. I have raised 3 generations. The youngest one is 2, the eldest is 24, and the ones that were under my wings are all successful. I've seen different ways to parent. I believe if you do not want your children to grow up with a gun in their hands, do not let them pretend at home, either on a video game or with a toy gun. I've seen a child with a gun in their hands that knew how to use it, and I don't think that's something that we should ever take lightly. I know in America we might believe differently. Trust me on this one. You have them at home, get rid of them. You're doing no one a service. No one a service. And almost in closing, because I have exotic animals, it just really upset at me today. So I took them out of this little place. I believe everyone needs love, and I might not be able to travel to countries and, rescue people anymore. I can rescue little ones like this. He's a tiny, tiny turtle. You can't get him anywhere. I get him because of who I know. And his name is Butter, because all baby turtles have butterfly patterns on the bottom.
Oh, it's so cute.
And he's one of my 4 terrapins, a water turtle, and 1 tortoise. But he has to sort of live with the goldfish because he's a snack right now to everybody else. And I believe in many things, but with animals, you learn to appreciate life. You know that you're not the center of the universe. I do believe they communicate with anybody and everybody that's living and breathing around them. They have personality, plus their feelings can get hurt. They can get depressed. They can be super happy. They can be annoying and nasty and all kind of things. But I prefer animals and books and plants over cable and nightclubs and various men.
Amen. Amen.
And just to end it, and I timed it out, it should be 1.5 minutes more, so I appreciate. They call it the ideal wife from my Catholic Bible. I prefer the ideal woman. When one finds a worthy woman, her value is beyond pearls. Her husband and friends, entrusting his heart to her, has an unfailing prize. She brings him good and not evil all the days of her life. She obtains wool and flax and makes cloth with skillful hands, like merchant ships. She secures her provisions from afar. She rises while it is still night and distributes food to her household. She picks out a field to purchase. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She is girt about with strength, and sturdy are her arms. She enjoys the success of her dealings. At night, her lamp is undimmed. She puts her hands to the distaff, and her fingers ply the spindle. She reaches out her hands to the poor and extends her arms to the needy. She fears not the snow for her household. All her charges are doubly clothed. She makes her own coverlets. Fine linen and purple are her clothing. Her husband is prominent at the city gates, as he sits with the elders of the land. She makes garments and sells them, and stocks the merchants with belts. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs at the days to come. She opens her mouth in wisdom, and her tongue is kindly counsel. She watches the conduct of her household, and eats not her food in idleness. Her children rise up and praise her. Her husband too extols her. Many are the women of proven worth, but you have excelled them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty fleeting. The woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her a reward of her labors, and let her works praise her at the city gates. I believe that God has put every last one of us here for a reason, but guess what? It's none of your business why. I believe in being exceptional, not perfection. I believe in excellence, which means that you honestly did try, and only you know if you truly did. It's not always getting the right answers. Where am I going to go next? I'm going to continue my 4.0 unapologetically. I am going to get as many degrees as I want, no matter how much it confuses people, how they don't relate, because only I and God know. And be encouraged, be encouraged, be encouraged, be encouraged, be encouraged. Know that if you have thought it, there is a reason for it. Again, don't know why, don't worry about that part, but pursue it with all your heart. It might not come in the way that you thought. Like I said, I would have been so upset at you if you told me I would be in school this year. But I thank God every day that I don't wake up throwing up, that I'm not on a self-defeating path, where I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not a drug-addicted person, I'm not a whore on the street. I am Danica. And as complicated as I may seem, I'm so thankful for being me for the first time, because I actually was not raised to be grateful and thankful for who I am. I never was appreciated at working at the bank, being the youngest one with this title, working at the city, being this title, having this kind of grade with that title. I never was acknowledged. And from now to the day I die, if I never am from anyone else, acknowledge yourself. And one more time, be encouraged.